Right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The recording has now started. I'd like to welcome the Borough Councillor, Councillor Cockrell, and Helen Swires, yes. Yes, thank you. The State Representative, PCO Vicky Leeson, and members of the public. Has everybody read the emergency evacuation procedure, which has been circulated on every seat? Should the alarm go off during the meeting, please leave the building by the nearest fire escape and proceed to the assembly point situated at the corner of Queen Street, Reynolds Street, Highway. Has everybody signed in? Yeah. And when you go out, please sign out, just in case there is a fire, then we know where we stand. The Town Council will be recording the meeting tonight, and this should be displayed on the Town Council's website in the near future. I've got to ask whether anyone else wishes to record or film the meeting tonight. The Council has a duty to protect members of the public who may not wish to be filmed or recorded. Are there any? No. Would all people present please switch off their mobiles or put them on to silent, please? Before I declare the meeting open, could we have a moment to reflect on the terrible tragedy in London last night? Just a moment, please. Right, thank you. I now declare the meeting open. Notice of meeting.
Open.
Thank you. Apologies. A, to note any apologies for absence. Are there any?
Councillor Susan Butterworth, holiday. Councillor Diana Glanville, holiday. And Borough Councillor Sam Cox.
To receive reasons for absence for acceptance thereon. Does everybody accept those reasons?
Yeah.
Thank you. Declarations of interest. Members are reminded of the need to consider whether they have a disclosable pecuniary interest or a personal interest as detailed in Appendix A and Appendix B of the Town Council's Code of Conduct, to declare in any of these items on the agenda. If so, the nature of the interest must be declared at the start of the meeting. In addition, the attached form must be completed and passed to the clerk. You have a copy on your iPads of that. Are there any declarations of interest? No. Don't forget you can declare them just before something comes up if you realise then that you have one. Number 4, North Yorkshire Police. A, to receive police reports and ask questions from PCO 3571 Leeson, North Yorkshire Police, who is attending the meeting tonight. Lisa?
Evening everyone. You'll have to excuse me. I haven't written this report this month, so Phil did it and he's gone sick. And he got me instead. Been really quiet over the last few months. We've had the odd incident that here and there that's been dealt with. As you can see on the report, the beach chalets that have been burgled, that is still ongoing. How far we will get with that, not sure. We've done a press release and we're just waiting for any witnesses or any information coming forward. Takeaway theft, suspect was dealt with and interviewed. The shop window on Murray Street, that was the pound shop, I don't know if anybody was aware of that. There is still inquiries ongoing with that. I think we've got some CCTV footage, so we're looking at that. The mail arrested for the public order offence on Hope Street, you probably are aware of who that is. Don't need to say any names, I don't think. Needless to say, there is a good news story on the back of the report with regards to that one. That's the same report, the same incident. And the other two, one with the dog bite, still ongoing, so really I can't comment on that. Don't know where we are with that. And the domestic assault that occurred, again, that's been dealt with and he's on bail, so hopefully we should be keeping that really safe. Antisocial behaviour, it's a nuisance called just 4 that were youth related. So we are working on it, we are trying to keep them out of our town and keep the problems to a minimum, basically. The good news story on the back. I'm not quite sure it's a good news story. You're all aware Chris is retired. Sort of. It was official last day with Norfolk Police, the 31st of July. However, he has finished work, finished on Friday. We are going to miss him, I'm sure you all are. I miss him already. And the community link radio is really, really good. I've got some more businesses that are wanting to be involved with that. So there's another 5 or 6 that will be getting radios in the future, hopefully in the next week or 2. On a month's trial, if they're not happy with it, they can go back. So everybody's really getting on board with that. It's proving to be really, really good for the town, keeping everybody okay. Anybody got anything?
Is there any questions?
Yep.
Councillor
I have
Holman.
3 actually. The first one is regarding the bird that's flying around. I believe that's not being resolved.
Harry's Hawk, yeah, we do know who's doing it.
Right.
He has been into the police station and gone, it was me. What we're being told from our wildlife officers is that he doesn't need a licence to do that, he doesn't need a permit to do that. He's not doing anything illegal. And seagulls are not a protected species in mating season herring gulls, which is what he's using it for bird control. So he's not doing anything that he shouldn't be doing.
Okay. So they didn't have to put any signs that said the bird is flying before that.
Just as far as I can understand.
And then the second
If I could just come in, there's item 18, the short report about the hawk.
second one is the works, or the vans that are down filling between the post office that links the main street to what's that street called? It goes, is it Mitford Street? Today I've had quite a few residents coming into my shop complaining that there's no right of way and they're quite considerable time to vans and actually working on that back alley.
Oh, right.
So it's not accessible to people that live down there, can't get up and down, and people that are in mobility scooters are having difficulty getting by. But this has been going on for quite a few days now.
Right. There aren't any reports that I'm aware of on the system. I will go back and look at that.
So, this was mentioned with Councillor Swyers on the other day, this alleyway. It had been a highway and been constantly obstructed, so we've asked Councillor Swyers to look at that. And it's important that when it is obstructed that people ring the police on 101 and get the police to come out.
Yeah, and that would be our advice, but like I said, there aren't any reports that I'm aware of coming tonight.
No. Well, because my shop is virtually opposite the entrance of that, so people are coming in, and I think it's like the Hawk scenario, isn't because it's just there for one day, it's been there for quite some time, and nobody seems to know it.
But if they're not ringing it into it,
no, well, I rang up our own lovely clerk to get advice on it, and that's what I was told to do. But this was only 2 days ago, I think I had a
Councillor Holden, I did report it to Chris when you asked me to.
Right.
And he did say that the PC would be sending the PCSOs round to investigate it.
Right.
So could you check on that?
Yeah, I will check on that. It might be just the way that the shift has fallen, because I was off. I was a duty somewhere else on Friday, and then 2 days annual leave, and I came back on Monday, and obviously Chris is gone, so he may have mentioned it to another shift. and they've not passed it on.
Being used
Yeah.
as a workshop, is that?
Right.
Yes, they are,
Okay.
yeah.
Right?
It's just like tell the people that are coming in asking me the questions. I said I
Yeah,
wouldn't
yeah.
do anything until tonight, so do I come in and complain to the police station then? Or are you going to get
I
turned
didn't
around?
ring 101 and
Yeah.
report it, but now that I'm aware of it, I'll certainly go back and send the rest of the gang an email,
Yeah.
and we'll see what we can do from there. And we've got a sergeant covering at the minute, so we'll take advice from it, so we'll see what we can do.
And the third thing, the final thing is that I'm not too sure if this is a question that you can answer or not, but on the radio and other forms of information, we've been asking for information about the sports club. Didn't know there was a problem there.
Yeah, there was an incident
Was
at
that the-
Tarrant's Drive,
Yeah.
Plainfield.
And that's
There has been a suspect has been identified and arrested for it. He's on bail currently for it, but they were wanting witnesses. It was early hours in the morning, and so far the only witnesses we've got didn't see anything, and were very drunk. So they're looking for independent witnesses for that. And that was the nature of that appeal. Just if anybody was there who hadn't had 20 pints or whatever.
yeah, you might be.
Yeah.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you.
Can I just say the detail is on the internet now for that?
To the Clarence Drive one, yeah. Yeah, I think we put something out on the community message as well, didn't we?
Yes.
Yes, and it'll remain there until they're satisfied that there's nobody coming forward. We're not very hopeful. We have got, like I said, we have got 2 or 3 witnesses, but they were all very, very inebriated at the time. We don't remember a great deal, or don't remember seeing a great deal. So, but he's admitted his offence, so we're not, you know.
Is there any more questions? No? Well, thank you very much for coming. Ricky.
You're welcome. I've got to be in Boston. Oh, it's getting with
Oh, just a minute.
Yeah, get that.
Yeah. B, to receive any verbal progress update on the Ravinescape Park project.
Right.
Councillor Mead.
We still haven't got a bank account, thanks to the business manager at Barclays in Scarborough. She keeps telling us to have sold, so that's fine, it comes back and we're still waiting. Got money to put in bank, no bank account. And she says she'll win away for 2 weeks. Apparently she even got that wrong.
Yeah,
Still waiting.
She sent me an email saying if you can get the forms to me. I'm in the office today, but this is my last day for 2 weeks. And I read that at 10 to 5, I think it was, after coming on shift. So obviously it was too late to catch her. So I presumed she was on holiday for the 2 weeks. This is my last day in the office. Then I got an email at the end of the last day of shift saying, I've still not had your forms back, I've been waiting for them. So I sent her a rather well-worded email saying, well, you told me you were away for 2 weeks. And she said, oh, I'm really sorry. I forgave the impression I wasn't here this week. The email clearly said at the bottom, this is the last time in the office. So in effect, it's going to be 3 weeks. I have the paperwork, it's ready to go. It's just thinking about exercise when she comes back. There will be a bank. There will be a bank account. Don't look at me like that.
Don't speak to them, so. We've only been at it since, is it January? February.
Is there anything else, Councillor Mead?
Not
Any
too
more
bad.
questions?
I do have the young lady who's come on board the committee who's on restricted duties out at Eastfield, and she's doing a lot of the administration work for us with regards to the skate park. She's developing the letters that need to go out formally, as in to the planning office, for the planning commission, and what we need to do for the planning commission, and also for the maintenance of it once it's built and up and running. To ask the council if they're prepared to take on the maintenance of it as well, like they have done with the mother. So she's well on with that, so
Yeah.
things are looking very positive from that point of view.
Just one thing, if anybody's got any spare money, send it our way.
We've got nowhere to put it, Joe.
We'll find somewhere, don't you worry.
Councillor Holden
I
Banks.
was just going to say that the young men from the top school, or whatever the E-boy you call it now, don't you, came round to businesses with a letter, and the ones that came into my business were exceptionally polite and very pleasant, and recognised that I was busy, so they just waited and they presented themselves very well.
Oh, good. I'll pass that back to the school system. I know they were returning, weren't they, as well? my colleague.
Well, they came in on their own.
Did
but
they?
They were
Literally,
lovely, and, yeah, and they, you know, they were polite and respectful, and they were very nice.
Lovely, I'll pass that back to Principal. And Sarah Eastfield has also put some funding bids in, and we have a quote, or a quote for different style skate parks, different sizes, and different sort of values on it. But we're looking at a couple of companies coming actually doing a site visit and tailoring one to us. So it's moving on from that point of view as well. We've been quoted in the region of 130 to about 190 to 200,000, so depending on what we want. Excuse me.
Thank you, Vicky. Any more questions? No? Right, thank you very much. Number 5, public question time. To receive questions on items on this agenda from members of the public, 15 minutes is allocated for public question time. Anybody want to speak? No? Thank you. We'll move on then to 6. To receive questions from previous minutes which require further consideration. Minutes number 133/017, sale of land at South Dean. To receive further response from Kevin Hollinrake, MP, for consideration thereon, and you've got a copy on your iPads. Does anybody want to speak on this?
Is there any further update to this email?
Is there any further updates on what they've got?
No,
No.
that's it, I don't think we'll be in
I don't think so.
No doubt we believe in the election.
Councillor Haxby.
We certainly can't let the matter drop, we've taken it so far out. We certainly need to have this problem of access with the public sorted out. And we can write to the borough saying we don't wish to know any commercial details, all we want are the figures. They can anonymise any tender any way they want. That doesn't bother me. It's just how much and what the tenders are for, which isn't, in my mind, commercially sensitive. And perhaps we can send a copy to Kevin as well.
Any more? John?
Are we going to send a freedom of information request as Mr. Hollinrake suggested? Yeah.
Why not?
Yes.
Well, it's up to members.
It's up to
I
you,
think the Information Commissioner may knock it back and say, I think the Borough Council may not wish to provide that information, but then the Council would have the address through the Information Commissioner to say, and he would have to determine whether that information should be in the public interest or not.
Again, I think we ought to let him know we're not bothered about which company submitted what, it's just the figures.
So do you want me to write to the Borough, write just a request or a freedom of information?
Freedom of information.
That, you know, the Borough have got 20 days to respond.
Exactly.
But just take quite, you know, quite lengthy, but...
Well, they normally take longer than that anyway, so it might be quicker.
Or do you just want them not an order?
Well, to be honest, I think a normal letter would maybe bring something better in than that, especially when you state what, like Councillor Haxby's stated, we don't want to know contractors or anything like that, just what the monies are. Councillor Shackleton.
I think with the FOI, I think we'll just get the same response, and that is that it's commercially sensitive. How many different ways can we ask?
Well, exactly.
We'll just receive the same reply.
Yeah. Do you want to say anything on this, Councillor Cockle? No. Okay, I won't suspend standing orders. Any more, Councillor?
Yeah, I'd just like to, you know, I totally agree with John. I think it's the value of the land. We're not bothered about
Exactly.
who did what.
So it's just the
And I
bylaw.
think that's a question that we need to ask, or put to them.
Yeah, it's
In a letter or freedom of
a letter or freedom.
I think the freedom of request information, Chairman, carries more weight. And at least we can then go and say we've done it through the right channels. And they've done the usual thing, which is hide their head in the sands and refuse to speak to them. But at least we've got that evidence there. Whereas if we just send an ordinary letter, you're not going to get anything back from them. But, you know, they run but they can't hide forever. And their silence tells 1,000 words.
We'll read into it anyway. So
Exactly.
Freedom of information.
Councillors, which way do you want to go with this? Yeah? Do you want to propose what Councillor Haxley said on freedom of information?
I'll
Are you
second it.
proposing that?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councillor Meek. Yeah. Is there any amendments to that? No? No? So we'll vote on that then. All those in favour of that, please show. Your
Abstention.
Maria's abstaining. Okay. Which is fair enough. All right.
Can I just ask you, Chair, do members know whether the access problem with the tennis courts, is that resolved itself, or is there still problems with young people wanting to play tennis?
I haven't anything been done whatsoever.
Yes, it sounds easy.
Okay, we'll move on then. Minute number 294/017. Vote of no confidence. To receive a letter of response from Mr. J. Dillon, Chief Executive, and Councillor Dean Battisman, Leader of Scarborough Borough Council, for consideration thereon. Now you have a copy of that on your iPads as well. Any members want to speak on this? You have actually had time to read this, because it's been on your agendas from last Friday. So, Councillor Casey.
Well, I mean, I think we should take them up on the offer to have an informal meeting in private, even though they're still saying that it's the two councils, how we see our mutual roles in the rest of the situation, even though it's us that's put voting no confidence in them. They're trying to say it's not just them, it's us as well. But we'll never sort it out unless we meet. We should take them upon the offer, in my opinion.
Councillor Holden-Banks.
If we were to go ahead and have this meeting with them privately, would it be minuted or recorded? I would like to know that before we went ahead and had an informal meeting, so that we have some record of the conversation that took place.
That would be up to the agreement of both parties.
Yeah, would actually.
Well, I want to.
In all council meetings are supposed to be held with no access to members of the public.
Yeah.
Exactly. They don't want it public, do they?
No.
They want it privately. And where would they want it, do we know? Is that to be arranged at some stage to be agreed to?
No.
Through you, Chair, I have actually contacted Mr. Dillon's PA and without intimating whatever decision will be made tonight. And I offered 3 meeting dates, but as yet they've not come back.
Does that mean here?
I haven't.
Thank you.
There are 3 meeting dates that we haven't got meetings, and would, if they be suitable as members decide tonight or not.
Councillor Shackleton.
Well, I believe this is just a reply that we got from our first request. We do pride ourselves on being an open and transparent council. And I would be dead against having a private meeting. Absolutely dead against it.
Councillor Axton.
Well, I can second that. Again, we might be open and transparent, Scarborough Borough Council might not be. But at the end of the day, they are serving us, we're not serving them. And it was us that brought the vote of no confidence. And it's not the case of the tail wagging the dog. You know, who's demanding what here? Let's be fair about it. This meeting should be open to the public. It includes every resident of Filey, not just the town council. We are representing the whole of Filey town. And I cannot see any valid reason whatsoever to have a private meeting. You can't hide behind commercial confidentiality as they always do. What are they frightened of? What are Scarborough Borough Council frightened of? Nobody will give us an answer. But I can tell you, the waves are starting to build. Something's going to happen soon, but I refuse and I will not attend a private meeting. It has to be open to every member of this town who it involves, not just 12, 13 people.
Councillor Anthony.
I agree with Councillor Haxby, it should be an open meeting, but I don't think there's any way that's going to happen. But my worry is when they say informally and in private, that means no minutes, no recording, which is a big worry. I think we need to say if we meet them informally that it must be either minuted or recorded.
If we met them informally, I would insist on minutes being taken.
Yeah.
You've got to do it.
I think they will push and say informal means
Yeah.
not an official meeting. I don't know.
Anybody else? Councillor Meek.
Well, like Council actually says that I don't know, frightened of, they're supposed to represent the residents of Filey and the borough. So, surely everybody should know what they're doing. They must be frightened of something. I'd like to know what. We've not to while.
Anybody else want to speak on this? Councillor Wright.
Just to ask, when we have the meeting with the Chief Executive, happens so often, do we record that?
No, but notes for the meeting.
Not to the meeting. It is minutes.
Minutes. Yes,
It's not recorded.
but not recorded.
Not recorded.
But the report then
And it's
comes
not
to,
open to people to come.
the report then goes to the full council and then it's in
Yes.
the public domain, the report.
Yes.
Yeah. So that is a way that possibly it could work.
Yeah, I mean, that's a
The
compromise.
work, through your chair, the work between the two councils is becoming quite difficult now because of this impasse. And I think it does need to be addressed as soon as possible to improve communication between the two councils. We do have to work together on lots of different ways and, it is proving quite difficult now until this matter is cleared up.
Councillor Haxby.
Such is the secrecy in which Scarborough Borough Council operates that none of our letters, nothing regarding this vote of no confidence from either ourselves or Whitby Town Council has appeared in any agenda, any minute of either the Cabinet or full Council. Where has it been discussed? We've already asked this question and we can't get an answer. Unless we've got one that I don't know.
Through you, Chair, on the next agenda item of the Freedom of Information request asking that question.
And we've got an answer.
And the deadline is today, and I haven't got an answer.
No.
And I don't think we'll get one tomorrow. Again, secrecy, smoke mirrors. They can't hide behind further now. This is the council that we're trying to deal with. They won't even tell us where this was discussed. Our own borough councillor was given authority to speak on their behalf, but where does that appear? He won't answer that. He won't tell us. Why not? Why all this secrecy and hiding? What the hell is there to hide? And they want us to have a private meeting with them. You might as well go in the cage with a bunch of tigers.
Anybody else?
Would it be a possibility to have a meeting in private, but have the meeting recorded and then the recording published for the public to be able to listen to? Would that be a way around it?
That's politically
Well,
I can't see Scarborough agreeing to the meeting being recorded, but they may well agree to it being minuted. But that's the same thing would happen. We could then publish it on our next council meeting, couldn't we? Now, we're at an impasse, and we know that Scarborough Council are it's like banging your head against a brick wall. Well, they've got all the power, and it's, like Gina says, it's affecting a lot of the work that we need to do, especially regarding Queen Street Gardens and other issues in town.
Yeah.
And there's a definite obstruction there, in my opinion, and it's not going to be that's not going to be removed if we just act the same as they're acting. We're supposed to be open and transparent. We're trying to do the best for the town, so let's have a meeting, whether it's informal, private or public. I think the meeting's the important thing, and that's what I would suggest.
So where are we going forward with this then? It's up to councillors.
Well, I propose...
Councillor Holden Vance, before you...
Has an agreement been made with Whitby, how they're dealing with them yet? Are they still in the same position that we're in?
I don't think possible.
So, it's the same scenario where they're holding out.
Councillor Anthony.
Councillor Basterman thinks that he's having mature dialogue with Whitby,
Oh, right.
but not with Filey. If you look at the recording, he talks about mature dialogue, and apparently he's not having that with Filey.
Councillor Shackleton.
I'd just like to reply to that. That must be a first with Whitby. That must be a first with Whitby.
They took the toilets.
Definitely. And when we was up at, as John will say, when we was up at the ILCA meeting up at Whitby, the deputy mayor was there, and there was nothing mentioned at all about Whitby and Filey and Scarborough. That was nothing at all. Councillor Banks.
Just like to say that I wholly agree with Councillor Hackby and Councillor Shackleton, and I do think that Scarborough are behaving appallingly, but I do recognise that we do need to move forward from this. And butting heads any further isn't getting us anywhere. I'm not meaning that we should back down as a council. We should stay strong and united as a group together and go in and debate what we want and the terms that we want and how we want them addressed the best that we can for Filey. Have it recorded, minuted, something definitely like that has to happen. I don't think it's right we've had to come to this at all. It shouldn't be like this. Scarborough Council are not acting well at all, but this is how they're acting. So, like children, you have to then bring them in and try and get some kind of inclusion, some kind of end to this, because we need to be proactive for Filey. And if that means we have to take a step back to move 10 steps forward, then I think that's what we have to do. Not that I'm happy about it, but I just can't see any other way forward.
Councillor Casey.
Well, I'd like to propose that we do accept a private and informal meeting, but advise all that it can be minuted for later public consumption.
Have you got a second for that?
Got an amendment, Mr Chairman,
Amendment?
that we refuse entirely for a private meeting, in that we're an open and transparent council, and that's not the way Filey Town Council operates.
Have you got a second to that amendment? Councillor Shackleton. We'll vote on the amendment first. All those in favour? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9. Those against? 6. Show your hands out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's recorded, Chairman.
Right. Against?
Against. Right, so the amendment falls.
The amendment falls. Yeah,
So do we vote on that before?
Yeah.
yeah.
So we vote on.
My proposal is that we accept a private and informal meeting with Scarborough councils on the proviso they can be properly minuted.
We've got a
I propose who seconded it?
Marion seconded. Can we vote on that, please? Clear show of hands, please.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Again.
Again.
It's going to be hard again, isn't it?
2, 3, 4, 5. The chair has a casting vote.
4.
4. Right, so that's carried then. Can I just ask where you want to hold the
Yes.
meeting? Here or?
Well, here, absolutely here. And I'm going to bend over backwards to get them
Well,
to
you
come
did
here.
say originally at the Everton Centre.
Yes, somewhere neutral.
But you want it, do you want it here in the county?
No, I'm going to hear fine, you do beg your pardon. Yeah,
Sorry,
can't, yeah.
can I be clear on that? Do you
Yeah.
want it here in the council chamber or
No, at the other one,
Yeah.
Everton? We can't do
Yeah.
both.
It was, it is very big.
21, 22, that'd be ideal.
So that's my apology, Mr. Chairman.
Sure. How many councillors will be attending this meeting?
depends when it is, doesn't it?
It is in Filey.
Depends what date.
When the dates.
Date and time.
3 dates have given us.
Well, I guess 3 dates, they haven't come back on them, they may have changed now, so when those came.
When this letter goes through, this could change.
Can I just say that, are you not talking about the basis of Councillor Haxby's report that the original letter went in? Is it not important that Councillor Haxby attended to put forward his
I'm sorry, I won't attend the private meeting.
Councillor Shackle?
Yeah, I've spoken about recording this meeting, or taking minutes of it. How would you propose to record at the Everton Centre?
No, he just said minutes.
Minutes, not recording.
Not recording minutes.
Public.
Actually, it isn't hard to record a meeting away from here. I mean, it won't be televised, but it would be voice recording.
Jackie.
Well, you use that one.
But that wasn't the proposal. Councillor Mead.
When you say you're going to take minutes, what's the difference between taking minutes and having it recorded? We have the recording pushed onto us, then we will still, you get a true record of what was happening. So if you take minutes, then come back later and say, oh, I didn't say that, it must have been put down wrong. If it's on a recording, you can't go back on what you said.
Well, it has to be here then.
It would have to be here then.
That wasn't the proposal.
That's not the proposal.
No, it isn't.
We record our open to the public meetings because we're an open and transparent council. This isn't going to be a public meeting, it's going to be a private and informal meeting, so therefore minuting is the only way forward.
As I said before, what's the difference?
We vote on it anyway.
Yeah, it has been voted on it.
I know it has.
Now, Councillor Holden-Banks.
Sorry, can I just have some clarity with this, because just you just picked up there, Gina. If Councillor Haxby was the one that put the vote of no confidence initially forward, and I know you don't want to go, but we really do need our team person that with us. So there's no way you would even consider it anyway facing these people.
No, that's been my stance all along, it's a vote
Has
of
to be.
That vote of no confidence was
Yeah.
proposed on behalf of the People's Party that spoke to me.
So
And they deserve to have a hearing.
I couldn't agree with you more. I'm just trying to move things on. I totally appreciate what you're saying. And do we have? Would that still be all right to go ahead? And if where it got proposed from, and seconded aren't coming. Yeah. Okay.
So, So obviously, any date that's agreed then, is there only going to be 6 people that are going to attend?
We don't know about the others, do you?
No, we don't
No,
know.
no, but are the people that vote,
Depends on what date it is.
are the councillors that voted against it, are they all intending not to attend, or?
I will not be attending church, but I will look forward to meeting this.
So this is what I'm saying, I'm happy that 6 councillors represent.
No.
Well, are the other ones that have voted against not coming?
No.
No.
I think I will.
You
No,
would.
no.
I've already stated, depending on the day,
Yeah.
What date have you given us?
We need to know some dates.
We do.
Yeah.
nobody said yes and I said no.
There's no point sticking something when 3 of us are on holiday in the forecast.
And who's going to chair the meeting?
All week.
I know there's already been a vote on this, but my biggest concern is that if we go half-hearted at this, with half of our council going, I don't think we represent our council very well. I know everybody's got the entitlement to do as they want, and I know it's a very difficult position for everybody, and I really don't know which way forward is best to go with this, apart from trying to keep some conversation going back and forth. But I realise the conversation that we have with Scarborough Council often isn't, they don't give us any information anyway, so it is sort of like a difficult one. But I think for like 5 or 6 of us to turn about searching, I know we don't know what they're going to do yet, but we aren't looking like a very strong, coming from a strong stance before we start with these people. We're looking, I mean, Scarborough Council are going to look at us and say, well, you can't even get your councillors in order to represent your words. Which I think looks not particularly a good stance. Yes, sorry.
Councillor Casey.
Currently, there's only 2 councillors said they're definitely not coming. There's only 2 who said they're not coming.
Yes.
It's Councillor Axton and Councillor Shackleton. The others have indicated that probably would come, depending on the date.
Oh, yeah.
We don't know about the 2 missing councillors.
I've got the date.
So there could well be 11 people there.
There's the dates coming up now.
Yeah, I've got Monday the 3rd of July at 7 o'clock, Wednesday the 5th of July at 7 o'clock, and Monday the 7th of July at 7 o'clock. So, but I haven't had any response back whether those dates are suitable, because I think I did ask for all members of the cabinet and the leader and the chief executive. That was sent on the 12th of June.
I won't be here for the 3rd or the 5th.
Sorry.
I won't be here for the 3rd or the 5th.
I won't be here till the
So do you want me to look at some different dates then?
yeah, Sarah won't be here, 3rd and 5th for some on holiday, and the 10th I'm not available.
Well, it looks like, does it look like these dates are not suitable? then?
It does,
For everybody?
I think it does.
Right, so, I'll look at organising, before I send a date in, I will send an email around, can you respond to me as soon as possible to let me know whether you're available or not, whether you'll be attending. Because we need a date that's suitable for as many councillors as possible.
I'll just, no?
James has done it.
All right. Okay, Councillor Holden behind.
Sorry, I would just like to say, would it be an idea to put this onto the agenda for next month when there's more of us here that we can arrange better dates with, like 3 of the people? If we know our 2 of the learning councillors aren't going to be there. It's the ones that are here and the ones that are missing that need to be
I
organised.
can send an email.
We don't know if they're going to go, do they? Would it be better putting it to vote again when there's more of us here now?
We've already can't vote again.
Okay,
It's already been
right,
voted on.
okay, fine.
It's already been voted on.
Right.
To vote again, you have to,
No problem.
Set 5 signatures
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
6 signatures.
and rescind the minute.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Councillor
Councillor Anthony.
Can I, with respect, John, can I ask you a question? We know that they're not going to agree to a public meeting, we know that. What is the way forward from your point of view?
They refuse to be divided and ruled, which is what their tactic is. This is what they wanted all along.
But what is the way
They
forward?
knew certain of us wouldn't agree to a private meeting. That's why they're holding out for it. It's typical of Scarborough Council. The way out is to have a proper public meeting.
But
and
they
discuss
won't do that.
Well, it's not my problem, it's us that brought the grievance, not them. You know, this is a classic tactic. Which, you know, I've seen through. And I refuse to compromise my principles for them. They may sell the soul for a couple of shekels of silver, but I certainly won't.
Okay. Right then, can we move on with this then and get some dates sorted out during your
Yeah, could everybody respond?
When you send, can you respond straight away, please?
It may be now looking up to be middle of July.
Yeah. We'll go on to 6C. Minute number 378/017, Freedom of Information request to receive response from SPC if received.
No, I haven't received the response, and as I just said now, today was the last working day, 20 days, so a bit disappointed with that.
Very disappointed. Councillor Haxley.
Could I just ask if we don't receive a reply by well, I presume we should have received one by tonight. Where is our next port of call? Who do you report it to, appeal to?
Can complain to the information.
Well, I think we ought to propose to do that if one's not received first post tomorrow morning. Would be more than fair.
Yeah, proposal on that one, John.
I'll propose that.
John,
The information, ITR.
all those in favour of that? Oh, full house.
It's probably coming in now.
Yeah. Well, let's hope it does now.
Well, if it does, it's late.
I know it's late,
So
John.
we still complain.
Well, I don't think it's going anywhere for
Yeah.
Depends what time it comes in. I mean,
Exactly.
we have a borough council with us this evening, you might just get them moving, get in tomorrow.
Right, we'll go on then. Number 7. Oh, you've got your thing yet? To receive items from previous minutes which may not require further discussion, if any. None received. 8. To receive minutes and, if approved, to sign the minutes of the following and to make resolutions where necessary on the recommendations therein. Full council meeting held on the 10th of May 2017. Member to move, please. Thank you, Councillor Mead. Annual council meeting held on the 22nd of May 2017. You have a copy on your iPad. Member to move this, please. Thank you, Councillor Wright. Finance and General Purposes Committee meeting held on the 31st of May 2017. You have a copy of that on your iPad. Recommendations on minutes number 5418/017, 5420/017, 423/017, 424/017, 425/017, 426/017, 427/017, 428/017, 429/017, and 430/017. Councillor Shackleton.
Thank you, Chair. Well, firstly, I'd like to move the minutes as a for record.
All those in favour? Thank you.
As you see from the length of the minutes, the meeting was quite complex and a lot of questions to be answered and matters addressed. I'd just like to thank my fellow committee members for their patience throughout the meeting. Thank you. Minute number F418017, these are the terms of reference. Members did review the terms of reference and decided that no changes were necessary. So the recommendation to be made to full council is that the Finance and General Purposes Committee's terms of reference be accepted for 2017-18.
All those in favour?
Thank you. Number 420017, Internal Audit Report, year-end accounts 2016-17. This is David Latham's report. As you see, David listed no areas for concern, and once again it was a very good internal audit. So the recommendation to be made to full council is that the internal auditor's report for the year-end accounts 16-17 be accepted.
All those in favour? Thank you.
Year-end budget statement 2016-17, I believe you've just received that this evening, is that correct?
Yeah.
Members to just to have a look. From the final page, it's rather pleasing that the council has once again come in and doing the kit.
Any questions on the budget?
Meeting 4233017. The recommendation to be made to full council is that the transfers detailed on the year-end budget statement between earmarked reserves be accepted.
All those in favour? Thank you.
And minute number F424017, and that recommendation be made to full council that the year-end budget statement for 2016-2017 from the RFO be accepted.
Thank you.
Minute number F425017, statement of accounts 2016-17. These are the externally unaudited accounts. As you see from the minute, it was pleasing to read in the report that efficiency savings were made on some budget headings, and that a small increase was made to the general fund, which is actually in line with the external auditor's requirements. And the recommendation to be made to full council that the year-end financial report for 2016-2017 from the RFO be accepted.
All those in favour? Thank you.
Statement of accounts for the year ended 31st of March 2017, minute number F426017. And the recommendation to be made to full council is that the statement of accounts for 2016-17, the externally unaudited ones, be accepted.
All those in favour? Thank you.
Still on the annual audit return, minute number F427017. This is section 1. It's basically a tick list in order to confirm that we have a good system of internal control on the council's finances. So the recommendation to be made to full council meeting on the 14th of June 2017 that the annual return section 1, accounting government statement 2016-17 for the year ended 31st of March 2017 as duly completed by the RFO be approved and signed by the Chairman of the Council prior to the annual audit return being submitted to the external auditors.
All those in favour? Thank you.
Thank you. Minute number F428017, this is still the annual audit return. This is section 2, which members agree that the figures in section 2 of the annual return were correct. So the recommendation be made to the full council meeting on the 14th of June 2017 that the annual return, section 2, accounting statements 2016-17 for the year ended 31st of March 2017 as duly completed by the RFO be approved and signed by the Chairman of the Council prior to the annual audit return being submitted to the external auditors.
All those in favour? Thank you.
Minute number F429017, internal auditor. This is Mr. David Latham, who's been council internal auditor for a number of years now. I believe that all the admin team are quite happy with David's work, and so is the finance committee. So the recommendation that's to be made to full council that Mr. David Latham be reappointed as the town council's internal auditor for the year 2017-2018 as per the specification and terms of reference supplied.
All those in favour?
Minute number F430017, this is the review of the effectiveness of internal audit. As you see, the finance committee has been quite busy throughout the year, and so the recommendation to be made to full council that the finance and general purposes committee have conducted a review of the effectiveness of the council's system of internal audit and are completely satisfied that a suitable and effective system of internal audit is in place.
All those in favour? Thank you.
And lastly, it's hard for me to say, but I think this will be Gina's last annual return. So I'd like to thank Gina for all the work throughout the year, but also thank the admin team as well, because it is a team effort. And I would also like to thank fellow members of the Finance and General Purposes Committee for their work throughout the year. And finally, I'd like to wish Gina all the very best for the future. I'm sure will be a very happy retirement. Thank you, Chair.
Okay.
I've done.
Have you done?
Thank you.
8D. Property Committee meeting held on the 1st of June 2017. Recommendation minute number 440/017. Recommendation to that the Property Committee terms of reference be accepted for 2017 and 2018. All those in favour? Thank you. E. Staffing Committee meeting held on the 8th of June 2017. You have a copy in your iPad. Recommendations on minute number 451/017 and 455/017. Councillor Mink.
I'm glad mine's not as long as John's. Right, Staffing Committee meeting held on Thursday, 8th of June. Move these as a true record of the meeting.
All those in favour? Thank you.
Right, terms of reference. that a recommendation be made to full council that the staffing committee's terms of reference be accepted for 2017-2018, that's minute 451017.
All those in favour? Thank you.
Town Clerk RFO, minute 455017. That a recommendation being made to full council that the contract of employment statement of particulars be signed by the chairman of the town council, Councillor Richard Walker, and then be sent to the new town clerk, responsible finance officer, Mr. Tom Clay.
All those in favour? Thank you.
And that's it.
Thank you, Councillor Meek. We go on to number 9 now. Report of working party meetings. To receive and accept reports of the following meetings and to receive any recommendations thereon. You have a copy. A Town Guide Working Party meeting held on the 30th of May 2017. Councillor Wilkie, but isn't here. Councillor Casey.
Yes, I'd like to propose these as thrown into the meeting.
All those in favour? Thank you.
It's pretty explanatory really about the upcoming guide. The second page might be of interest to you under any other business. Because we've got quite a large amount of money in our account, some ideas there of what we might like to put the money towards. So just to give you an idea of what we're looking at there. Because no doubt that will come up again at a future meeting. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Number 10. Finance. To receive and approve the schedule of payments for the following accounts. General Fund. A. 11th to the 31st of May 2017. You have a copy on your iPad?
Madam Chair.
Thank you. B. 1st to the 14th of June 2017. You have a copy on your iPad? So it's just been circulated today, so if you want time to have a look at it, it's fine. Any questions?
Madam Chair.
Thank you. Everybody agreement on that? Okay, sure. Thank you. Number 11. Reports from councillors and outside organisations to receive and accept reports. A. Festival of Fire to receive report from Councillor Casey, and you have a copy on your iPad. Councillor Casey.
Yes, thank you very much, Chairman. It's self-explanatory and very short. It just highlights all the good things that the Festival of Fire are doing for the return of the Dragon Festival on the 29th and 30th of July. Please make sure you're all available to come to that. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. We meet every fortnight in the front bar of the Forge, and people are more than welcome to come. We are looking out for new members, and we're financially sound, according to our Treasurer, Councillor Holly. Any questions?
No?
Thank you.
Thank you. We move on. B. 5E Chamber of Trade to receive a report from Councillor Anthony. Councillor Anthony.
It was my first traders meeting, Chamber of Commerce. Quite interesting. I didn't realise that they didn't really have a Facebook page, so that's something they're going to look into. to make it a bit more accessible for people looking at businesses. I don't think there's anything much to add on that. The observations on the steampunk event were a bit mixed, but most businesses have benefited financially from it. That's it. Any questions?
Any questions? No? We'll move on to number C. Is there any of the councillors to speak and give their reports? No? Thank you. We'll move on. Number 12. Election of members to committees. A. Strategic Planning Committee. To elect members to serve on the Strategic Planning Committee. You have a copy list with current vacancies highlighted within, and that's on your iPad. Councillor Shackleton.
I'd like to propose all three, Chair.
All those in favour of all three? Carried. Are you willing to stand?
Didn't hear the question, sorry.
Strategic planning.
Strategic Planning.
Yes, I put my name forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Councillor Wright.
And Councillor Wright, yeah.
So, councillor,
Strategic Planning Committee.
after the, councillor Wright.
Yeah. Okay. Go on to number 13. North Yorkshire County Council. To note matters not previously noted or reported elsewhere in this agenda. To receive verbal and written reports from the North Yorkshire County Councillors present for information. You have a copy from Councillor Helen Swires. Information meeting held on the 9th of the 6th, 17. And that's on the iPad.
Yes, can I just make note of where that report has been updated with comments from Mr Andrew Sampson. So members may need time to read that, and then Councillor Helen Swires also copy of that, and I'm aware.
Right.
Everybody ready? Yes?
Helen, your paragraph on lining of filing.
The line.
Yeah. Open bracket, close bracket, right at the end. You've been misinformed because it hasn't been done.
It hasn't been done.
No. I've walked down tonight and nothing has even been burnt off.
Right, I'll chase it.
Any update on Silverwood? I know we have meeting Fridays. Any update on the footpaths on Silverwood?
No, sorry, nothing
Have you got the update?
Have you got the updated one?
It's been updated with all the comments on from Mr. Phantom. Have you got, with his comments in blue?
Right under the update.
Yeah.
These are the latest, these are the latest comments.
Oh, news, yes, it comes to news before.
What else?
Are you happy with that authority?
Yeah, regarding the trees, what Andrew said, it would be coming. It would be passed to Scarborough Council.
Yes.
Could we be informed when they are going to come, please? When the inspectors are going to come to look at the trees?
Well, yes, but I think that we'll need to ask Scarborough Council to let us know when they're coming.
Yeah, if you could, because well, we can't ask them, can we?
Councillor Wright.
Could I just ask the office, did you report that drainage smell?
Yes.
Yes.
I did the same morning. I've just been talking to Councillor Squires earlier on. I mean, it does say that they haven't even started going out to tender for Crescent Hill Search Yard, and I found that quite alarming after so long that we've been present to this contract.
Well, I mean, reading that, I'm a little bit concerned there could be some slippage again.
Yeah, I mean, if we miss...
But I'll just try and keep chasing it.
I mean, the works are programmed in for early September, and if the contract hasn't been awarded yet,
No, that's what I mean. I'll have another word with them and try and keep to the
pressure.
The priority.
So you can say September this year.
Yes. The one which I don't see on there, but I've just read through it very quickly. Someone asked about using the park and ride for concert. Yes. I did have a reply from Mary Walsh in passenger transport. And they will review it again, but as it stands at the moment, there is a commercial operation which serves that, and they don't want to do anything that would undermine commercial operation.
Can you tell me what the commercial operation is that serves?
Well, there's a bus that might remember
There's nothing, you can't get to Filey after 7 at night, and you can't get home by any bus service or train service.
yes, but it was the end of park and ride was from Derby, you still got to get to
There's no, as far as I know, there's no bus service taking you down to the Bingo Park area or an open air theatre. I think you've been fobbed off there.
Look at water.
Right, I'll go back to her and ask again then. She did tell me she would keep it under review, for any change. So anyway, I'll go back and ask again.
Can I just say that if somebody is that misinformed, where do we stand on things like this when they're so misinformed? I really do despair.
The thing on the open air theatre was I went to a couple of concerts already this year, and a lot of people from Filey did go to them.
Yes.
And they brought the suggestion to me, actually. I never even thought of it, because it's absolute chaos there before and after the concert, getting there and getting away, car parking, etc. My suggestion was that maybe Park and Ride could introduce services to and from the Park and Ride to do away with all that congestion and to do away with traffic, which is what we're all about in this day and age, apparently.
But why, when someone's asked, they said that there's a commercial business involved, and there isn't after 7 o'clock.
Well, there isn't from Filey, but I think that what the media did probably is that there's a bus from Eastfield that goes to Scarborough once every hour and a half. You know, it'll hold 55 people, but there's 10,000 going into Oakham, so it's not viable, is it?
One at a time, please.
So on that basis, how do we, or people, Filey, get to Eastfield?
Well, we'd have to get to the park and ride, wouldn't we, as well? I think that's the point. I mean, I think the suggestion made was reasonable, and I think they're being popped up by Mary, whoever it is.
Well, I'll go back and ask again. She did say she would keep it under review.
Yeah, in the email, Councillor Swipe, it did say that any request for transport from the site had to come from the event organisers as well, so that would be Scarborough Council. So if they felt...
No, it's not, it's private.
Oh, is it private? Yeah.
Right, yes.
Sorry, yeah, so this is a company that runs the open air theatre then, that was, if they felt it was viable, that they would have to put a request in for it, so...
Anyway, I'll delve a little bit more then and see. Right. And this morning I met with Cathy Clark, who's Assistant Director of Commissioning, regarding extra care housing. I think you will all be aware there was a drop-in session on Monday, which unfortunately I couldn't go to attend. I went to see Cathy this morning. She was pleased that there had been a few local people had gone, and so she got some very useful feedback. We were at the very early stages in this proposal, and various sites. Obviously, the first thing you need is a site, and the Meadow Housing estate was suggested, but it is the least popular one with the residents that she spoke to. It's really too far out. The preference is to be within the centre here somewhere. Two possibles is behind Silver Birches. Now I didn't think there would be enough room there, but I'll have to go down and just have a look.
We're knocking Silver Birches down, yeah?
Well, I mean, there was possibly speak to Silver Birches and, but that is one possibility, because as you realise, there isn't a lot of space in the centre, and if that is the ideal location, ideally that's where we'd like to be. But there's a gas showroom just behind the library and the surgery, that is some sort of possibility, which would involve the library and the doctor's surgery. The doctor's surgery would like to expand and bigger.
There's no gas showroom now. It's flat.
It's completely flat.
Land's there.
The land's there.
Yes, but the land's there.
The land's there,
Yes.
As far as we're still there, that land belongs to Tesco's, right? And as far as I know, and I've never heard any difference, there is a covenant on that land that said it can only be sold for commercial and employment purposes.
Well, that had no mention this morning, so I'll go back to her and ask her about that.
I think she must look into that. And is it big enough or anything like that?
Well, it would also include the library and the doctor's surgery, and something would have to be incorporated for the doctor's surgery, etc. There's a lot of problems with it. I mean, this is the very early stages. I mean, you do have to stress this. There's really pushing out feelers at the moment as to what could be possible. And I mean, obviously the first hurdle is over, is to find somewhere to have it.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And the council work with 6 providers, and when something is identified and sort of progressed, it will be put out to the 6 providers and looking for an interest. And hopefully there'll be at least 2 of them, that will create a bit of competition. And then of course it will all have to go out to consultation, etc. it's not going to be a quick process.
Yeah, we're used to not quick process.
But it's important to get it right.
Yes, exactly.
Now, every extra care that the county's done, everyone seems to get better, but seems to be getting better at it. I don't know if any of the councils have been to extra care. If you have an interest in going, if you let me know, I'll try and organise something so you can have a look to see the sort of things that we do.
Do you like silver birches then?
No.
What is it then, this extra care?
They're based on a model of everybody has their own front door.
Right.
Like
Providence Place?
I don't, I'm not sure what Providence Place provides. And of course there's the usual, canteen and the usual facilities that can be shared if people want to use them.
Yeah.
But you know, generally based on one-bedroom flats or a few two-bedroom flats, and some can be owner-occupied and some can be rented. There's different models, as you can imagine. Although it was said that there seemed to be a high proportion of owner-occupation in Filey, and that would look as if, at this point in time, that would look as if would need to be an element of that.
Right.
You know. It's very early days, so in the discussion. Yes. So
an age bracket for this, with an age to be...
well, it's generally over 55, but the age profile in Scarborough is quite high, so we would try to looking for the higher age range initially. Although I think they would like to look into any vulnerable people, you know, a lower age.
And is this for finding people?
Yes.
Not the borough as well?
Well, no,
Initially finding, because we've had this before, where it's...
It's aimed at finding people, because you've got to remember, Filey is about 35% elderly.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, I mean, if ever anybody anywhere needed an extra care housing scheme, I would say Filey was high on that list.
We all qualify here.
Steve, if that's fair.
You just look at it.
And the point is, once you get into one, you're settled there, and as your care plan progresses, hopefully you're well as it fits, but you may not be, and that can all be accommodated, you see, within the facility.
So once you've got one, you're in there for life.
If you want it. I mean, people do not have things done to them anymore. It has to be a two-way street.
So is this a threat to silver birches then?
No.
It isn't?
I don't think so.
Oh,
I don't believe so. Yeah.
It's just when something like this comes into Filey, you often think that, well, because it's been on the cards for quite a long time.
Oh, this was getting talked about
silver
years
birches
ago.
closing.
I can remember something being talked about having an extra facility on some planning application that was in at the time. Well, it obviously came to nothing.
Eileen Butterworth brought it up.
Oh, I'm going back, it must be 10 years ago.
Oh, easy.
Easy.
Yes.
10 years ago. Easy.
Yes.
She went round finally looking for sites for it. She identified self-thing.
I'll try and talk to my favourite bits to build it. There you go.
But anyway, it's being looked at.
Councillor Meek.
Yeah, Station Avenue, Murray Street.
Oh.
Back to the report.
About the cones. Third line down. Who would replace the cones if they were knocked over and moved by local characters, NYCCs who will not have the resources? It said members of staff to file each time the bollards or cones will need to be replaced. Oh, who used to do it?
You did.
Yeah. We all did.
Just give us some cones.
Well, they have to be cones to be put back. That stands NYCC people, just don't fetch some cones with them.
It's the point is, it's ridiculous, isn't it, saying we can put some cones out, but we can't send a man to Bally every day to stand them up again. Well, we never asked that, we just asked for cones. We'll stand them up ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right?
You didn't go to do it before, so I don't even know why it come up when we only asked for cones.
Councillor Shackleton.
Thank you. Yeah, many moons ago we did ask for codes with directional arrows on.
Yeah.
All right, yeah.
Yes,
You didn't mention directional arrows.
no, we didn't, but this...
No, that would probably be a good idea.
Exactly, yeah.
The codes were a very good.
They were.
They did
They
work
were.
to some extent.
The only thing that ever has worked.
Yeah.
It is the only thing that ever worked, yeah. I walked off the road at Chapel Corner this afternoon, and 3 cars in that short period turned right on.
Yeah. Yeah. There's going to be a right accident there. There really is. Because they're coming down in right lane and then they could stuck in front of them.
Yeah,
No chance.
yeah. Well, I mean, if you're a stranger to the town, it is a little bit confusing.
It is. Well, it is. Yes, it is. But we need more signage. This is what we've been saying for a long, long time, isn't
It
it?
goes back to road markings.
Goes back to bed at Buzzard, who's tired of doing the one-way system in the first place, which we never wanted, and it was stupid. So, that's my opinion, and I'll stick to it.
Councillor Holland, ma'am?
It's not as what we're discussing, but it's on the report here. I'd just like to ask regarding the footpath obstructions. Have we finished with that last topic? Sorry, are we just moving on?
Yeah, carry on.
Did you want, are we?
No,
What is the correct amount of usage of the footpath to be used for showing your way? How much you have to leave available for people to walk? It says on here, as long as the appropriate amount is being used.
Four slabs.
4 slabs to walk on or 4 slabs to...
As I know, it's four slabs.
But each petrol is different.
Sorry, I'm
Seen it.
actually,
Seen it.
Yeah, footpath.
Go on. Right, I'll suspend standing orders so Councillor Cockle can come in with this one.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Yeah, what was agreed in my time was that in certain, I think Murray Street, most of it was 4 flags wide. Other streets were 3 flags wide. It depended on the width of the pavement and the amount of footfall. And that was agreed with, I think it was Helen Watson. And it's never really been implemented. Just going on about that street trading policy that's being done by the Borough Council, that is purely for the consenting of a licence for vehicular trading on streets. It is nothing at all to do with footpaths.
Okay, I reinstate standing orders. Councillor Casey.
Well, I was going to actually ask Mike to comment on that actually, because that's what I believe. But it brings us back then to North Yorkshire County Council and A boards and what we're going to do. I mean, the North Yorkshire Council employee Helen Watson brought in this sort of loose arrangement about the width of the footpath. That's never really been policed. But the A boards are getting out of hand, especially the first catch one, which is about 93 foot tall. And County Council has said 3 times or twice have written they were going to rule it, and they've never done anything. And now they're trying to delay by tying it in with this street trading policy, which Mike has just told us isn't anything to do with A boards and street furniture. So we need to now know from County Council whether we're going to have a policy on A boards and street obstruction, because it's getting worse. One of the shops now in Farley are leaving the tables out all night as well, that they display the fruit and veg on during the day. That was always taken in under the previous owners, and people are just taking advantage, and things are getting worse and worse and worse. And our town's only small, there's not many shopping streets. We get a lot of footfall at this time of year, and well, I stay at home because you can't even walk down your own footpath, you're dodging this, you're dodging that.
Particularly wide.
Some are.
Yeah, most of them were.
So we need a great policy with North Yorkshire County Council on this issue.
Oh, what if somebody fell or tripped over one of these? Is the liability to the shop owner if they trip over a piece of their furniture or whatever they have outside their
I
shop?
would say it is, because it's their property.
Yeah. Yeah, but there's one particular street that is very bad for a lot of stuff being out on the street.
county council responsibility to keep the highways clear. The highway goes from the inside edge of the pavement to the other inside edge of the pavement. It's not just the road, it's the footpaths. The highway goes from building line to building line. And if that part of that highway is obstructed by street furniture of any sort, then it's on a public highway. So therefore, I would imagine North Yorkshire County Council are liable. I'm sorry, that's the law. I mean, I was a policeman for 25 years, I don't know a little bit about this.
28 Muston Road, that's a bullet point. Well, I'd like to thank yourself, it's not a complaint this time, to Ellen and Andrew. After the meeting, we talked to Andrew, and he said if you read it, he was going to have a look because there was a dispute with the boundary. Apparently, where the edge is, the edge belongs to North Yorkshire County Council. But they are going to come and cut it back.
Okay, Councillor Holt.
My wish is back to the original thing, street blockage. I would like to know about animals on pavements, please. About the, yes, dogs. There's a new place that I know that has opened at a
Doggy Deli
shop, and they very kindly have drinking bowls outside the front. So if you get 4 or 5 dogs all drinking at the same time in a line, hopefully on these. I've been asked these questions, so I ought to bring them forward. Is there anything for that, or is that just absolutely fine?
I shouldn't say it's fine, but...
I mean, it isn't just one. There's lots of places that have a bowl out because they're kind and they want the dogs to have a drink.
Yeah.
But this is strategically placed, you know, outside their business, like 5 bowls of water.
And it is some sort of dog parlour.
It is a dog parlour. Well, it's a
Doggy Deli.
Yeah.
Doggy food.
Doggy.
Especially because, as we were just saying, the street gets narrower because more people put more stuff out. And I think dogs are a different situation because some aren't the kind of others, are they? You know, you never know what a dog might do. That's fine.
The dog can't be classed as street furniture, it will move after a minute or
Oh,
so
well,
away. So
yeah.
I don't think there's anything county or anybody can do about a dog having a drink of water, to be fair.
No, I don't think we should fact there was one. I think it was the fact there was...
Could maybe peer pressure and have a word with the Doggy Deli about reducing
Fine,
because there's water outside nearly every premises in Paris.
Absolutely, yeah,
You
say that.
don't need to drive outside his shop.
Well, it's doing
Well,
like
I
the
think
dogs, isn't it?
county
Well,
can
there are
do
a lot
anything
of
about that.
dogs, which is nice to see, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
As long as it's
Don't want any horses, but
No.
Anybody else want to ask any questions? No? Thank you very much, John.
you probably got away, didn't you?
Yeah, next one on the agenda. The North Yorkshire Permit Scheme to receive consultation documents for comment thereon before the 7th of August 2017. Now you've got a copy in your iPads on this one. Helen, can you speak on this one for us? What is it and why?
Well, I don't really think anything to add to what I said last time. It's out for consultation at the moment. The consultation is really aimed at contractors, etc., and at the utilities.
Can you just make it clear that this is not for parking permits?
No, it's about having a permit for a utility or anybody to do any work on the highways. And I just thought that it was something that, as a council, you might like to respond to.
Councillor Lee?
Does this cover the railway?
Sorry?
Does this cover level crossings?
Yeah, okay.
If it's on the highway, then it's
Part
part of the
of
highway.
it is on the highway and part isn't, because it belongs to the railway.
It's when you get a railway crossing,
Logic.
you know, and I'm pretty sure they do have to have a permit for that to work.
Well,
Crossing the highway.
It's under the new permit scheme, that's the reason I'm asking.
But it's really to try and get some control of all the utility, every time they dig up the roads and this kind of thing. And just get some structure into it and give us a little bit of a few teeth
Just to respect
and
the
say, look, you said
other
you
road
finished
launches.
X and you are.
Yeah. So when's the last date for this coming in then? That you want?
No, it's
7th of
7th of
August.
August,
Yeah, that's when the
to do the
consultation.
That's when
the
the
consultation ends.
consultation starts.
Ends.
Right.
Ends.
Ends. So you want it in ASAP?
Yeah, if you've got anything that you would like to, put into the consultation.
Right. Is there any councillors then that would like to put anything into this consultation?
Yeah, I'd like clarification on level crossings.
No, do the consultation then.
We just have to
We don't
go
do it,
to
we'll do it
the
ourselves.
say yes.
Yeah, very
I would have thought that would have been,
Okay. Anybody else would like to take part in this consultation then?
Well, that's me for one.
I mean, you may not wish to make any
No.
comment, but,
No. Can you download the documents from the internet?
you will be able to.
Yeah. Well, there's your chance, and if you want to take them out, you can download them
Consultation is usually on.
yeah, send them in, yeah. Okay. Okay, any questions, any more questions on that?
No.
No. Thank you very much, Alan. Scarborough Council. To note matters not previously reported or reported elsewhere in this agenda. A. To receive verbal and written reports from Borough Ward councillors present for information. Councillor Cockrell.
Thank you, Chairman.
You've got that report on your iPads.
Yeah, it come in today.
I think
Councillor Cross's report.
Councillor Cross's report.
Very, very brief, it will be done.
Have you read it, Councillor Holly? Right.
Shouldn't take much reading, does
There
it?
are all 3 lines of it.
3 lines. One of it's not a lot. Anyway.
Any questions on that?
No.
That we can't answer anyway, so.
I'll accept it.
Yeah, accepted report. All those in favour of accepting this report, please? Now then, Councillor Cockrell.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Yes, you've got the written one. Bit of an update. I'm pleased to see that Queen Street Garden was on the agenda, and I hope members find the documentation acceptable. And it stems from my discussion with Nick Edwards and Andy Crossley. In line with the Borough Council's constitution and following the period of purge that finished with the general election, I'm informed that a meeting of the Borough Council will take place to consider the motion of no confidence. Following the completion of Purder and the general election, I've been in contact with Kevin Holloway in regard to the transfer of salmon licences, and he tells me he will continue to apply pressure once DEFRA ministers are in place. Yesterday, Cabinet approved a recommendation to full council that the local plan up to 2032 be adopted. As Cabinet member, I've approved the appointment of Royal Haskonian as the council's consultant to undertake the roles of principal designer, project manager and supervisor of the proposed works at Flatcliffs. The programme shows the design being completed around the turn of the year, planning approval and the tender process being complete by the end of May next year, with the construction work complete by the end of 2018. I have actually forwarded the report onto the file.
Any questions for Councillor Cockrell? Councillor Chatterton.
Do we have a date for the special meeting, Mike?
I know one that's been muted, but it hasn't come out for me, so I'd rather not say it more, because it might change.
And secondly, will it be a public meeting?
As I understand it, it'll be a full meeting of the Borough Council.
Thank you. Any more questions, Councillor Wright?
Just comment really, it's just to say, the crazy golf thing. I I'm pleased to see that you have taken the away. I've never seen anything so pathetic in all my life. I mean, and this was put to, well, we wanted to find it as well. But we could do it while there was going to be a refurbishment. A refurbishment. It's a battle.
I feel sorry for the hamster cages it came from.
Are they going to replace them with something else then?
They're looking at it. Ideally, they would like to scrap the whole lot and start from square one, but there isn't money to do that.
Councillor Haxby and then Councillor Anthony.
A bit of a concern really, if members look on Facebook, there's a borough councillor called Mark Betty, who's a Green Party candidate, and he has posted on Facebook a link to a PR video recently made by Scarborough Borough Council, of which there is a long 9-minute version and a 5-minute version. And at the end there's a Scarborough Borough Council or Scarborough Reclining working together bloody well. So I looked at the short version, so I didn't have a long time, about 5.5 minutes. He questioned the fact, what is it? Where does it come from? It's a very professionally made video. Unfortunately, fire is not mentioned. There isn't one mention of fire in it. There is a picture of a blazer with Ebor fire on it, which lasts about 10 milliseconds, and then it's gone. And I think there might be a yacht, and it could be construed as being in the bay, but it's hard to tell. But what really concerned me was that about 1.5 minutes in, it states, and there's pictures of roundabouts, and that Flamingo Land will come to Scarborough and bring £20 million worth of development. And there is a picture of the site with all the tower and gardens, and it spends a few minutes or a few seconds talking about all the gardens and everything else. Mark Betty is concerned because he doesn't know that there's a planning permission going through yet. But B, when Mike commented on one of my tirades 3 meetings ago, he was categorical that no contract had been awarded, and that although Flamingo Land was a preferred tenderer, but this video produced by the Borough Council says Flamingo Land will come, not might, or maybe, or could, it's will come as though it's a done deal. And he's questioning all this, and I'm just wondering, has a deal been done? And if not, why is the borough wasting money? A, producing a video that doesn't mention fire, but more importantly, preempt anything that might happen within the next few months. I don't know whether you've seen it or not, Mike, but I was very careful to listen to the words, that this Flamingo Land will come to Scarborough.
I'm trying to think when, about 6 weeks ago, I saw an early draft. So I don't know if it was the same one that you saw or what. And I can't remember what the Flamingo, and I certainly didn't pick up if it did say will, and I'll look into that. Certainly I stand by what I said some months ago, that Flamingo Land are the preferred bidder, but no contracts have been signed.
It's just that the borough has said it.
Yeah.
Somebody's passed it in the borough. And it also states that there will be a 7-screen multiplex cinema at North Bay. Now, the professional of the film makes me think it's been made or taken 2 or 3 months to make. Now, in that time, there wasn't been awarded the planning permission there. I think it's only been gone through a month or 6 weeks. So, I'm concerned that somebody is sanctioning what is in effect untrue.
What I also want to look in at, I wasn't aware that was public at the moment, it was still being prepared, so...
It's on Facebook, through Mark Bessie.
I knew it was on another thing.
So I'm not breaking any confidence.
No.
It never came to me directly.
When I saw the draft, there was no mention of fire.
No, there's not that one.
And, well, I kicked it up for 2 reasons. One, there was no mention of fire. The other, there was no mention of any SMEs. It was all Claxton and McCain's, big places. Since then, and I actually put Janet Deacon, who was overseeing the production, and it has been done professionally. And I suggested they have a word with Paul Dooley for Future Technologies. And Janet did tell me a few weeks ago that Paul's interview has been incorporated on the final version and that it comes over very well. I'm yet to see it.
This could be the draft. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It sounds like it.
Wait,
Certainly,
wait.
I haven't seen the one with Paul, but I'm led to believe that it's quite interesting.
It was posted yesterday, so if you look at that message,
I'll have a
there's a
look.
link there.
Yeah, I'll have a look.
Thank you. Councillor Anthony.
Something I picked up on the cabinet video, the last cabinet video night. I can't remember whether it was Leicester or not, but there's some council looking for partners for consultation to put something forward to Parliament about the lack of GPs in rural areas.
Lincoln.
Oh, was it Lincoln? Yeah.
Yeah, because I've made the point that Sandra Turner, who's the relevant cabinet member,
Yeah.
was saying yes, she was quite in support of it.
Yeah.
For problems with GPs or access to GPs in rural areas. So I said, sorry, we have problems in
Entirely, absolutely. Is there some way we could get involved in that?
I can ask the question. I honestly don't know. Right, I'll ask the question.
Yeah. It was just something that came up in the SBC cabinet meeting. But when they're talking about lack of GPs and the actual trouble we have getting appointments in time, it was something that definitely I think we need to be, if there's a consultation going on, that we could be involved with.
That's why I raised it.
Yes, thanks, Mike.
Councillor Holden Banks.
I would just like to say on a positive note to Scarborough Borough Council and to Councillor Cockrell. And I came on here in 2015 for the Primrose Valley councillor, and from that first conversation with the MP and yourself to now hopefully 2018 things being achieved. So I think that's a positive thing from our group here, that we've actually achieved something that's rather wonderful for the people of Primrose Valley. So thank you for your help. Thank you.
Any more questions? No, we move on then. B. Review of Cobble Landing to receive report from Councillor Mike Cockrell for consideration and submission of constructive suggestions. Do you have a copy on your iPads, Councillor Cockrell?
Well, I think it's self-explanatory. Some time ago I did say that I wanted to conduct a review, but with the delay in the light I wanted everything to know where we were going. At Cobble Landing Users meeting, it was raised again about the progress on the review, which I repeated. But then I thought about it afterwards, and it's going to be another 2 years on the latest programme. And I just thought, well, we could maybe start going out to consultation and getting feedback. Hence, I've sent that exactly the same out to other stakeholders, and I'm quite happy for it to go as wide as anybody wants. I would say I've asked that the responses come back in that table form, which makes it easier to collate, and then we can see what everybody's saying.
Yeah.
I'm not asking for answers tonight,
No.
Whether you want to do it individually or council-wide, fine.
Councillor Haxley.
I welcome this, Mr Chairman. In our view, the Cobble Landing is Spiral's most important asset. It's its biggest visitor draw. And, it's not a decision that has to be taken lightly. And I don't think we can do it justice by giving it an agenda item. I think this deserves a special council meeting to discuss purely this item. And, we get one shot at putting our views forward, and we need to get it right. Individually, we all might have our different opinions, and there's no reason why we shouldn't individually put our views in, but collectively, I do believe that we ought to do it justice by having a special council meeting and purely discussing this one item.
Is everybody happy about having a special council meeting just to discuss this?
Yeah.
All those in favour, please? We'll we'll get together, Mike, and see when we can get one.
And I mean, I've put a time scale on it, but if that needs extending,
It can be. Oh, that's all right.
not tied to that. I just wanted to get something out and
Yeah.
try and get something
Yeah.
back, which, you know, it's going to be a rolling thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Good.
Okay. Right, thank you. We'll go on to 15, town clerk's report. For information only. You have a copy in your iPads.
Nobody's been issued with a copy of the outstanding items. I won't go through it all individually if there are any comments on that. There's not an awful lot of progress because of, the council situation. I haven't gone the vote of confidence in all the historical dates of the letters that's been sent, and we've got a track record of that. Are there any comments on the outstanding?
We haven't had a reply from the mayor and the mayoress regarding the festival at Barnley.
You haven't had a reply? If not, it will be, yes.
Yes.
Did you put your request in writing?
Yes.
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 Right. Okay. All right, any more questions?
Questions on the outstanding?
No?
Okay, so you've got a lot, list of the dates for your diary. There is one date to add on to that, and that is the annual Town Council Civic Service. That's been planned for Sunday the 10th of September at St Edward's Church.
And that is definite.
The details of the hospitality afterwards will be to follow. But if you could put that date in your diary, Sunday the 10th of September. Thank you. Quite a lot of local events taking place in the next couple of months. We've got the mayoral engagements for June and May and July. And the 2 letters of thanks for grant awards from the Fine Festival of Music and the Fine Childcare. The events, the mayor and deputy have been quite busy with having to hold 2 consecutive minute silences within a space of under a fortnight, which quite tragic really. But, those events were well supported by members of the public, and I think the council was praised for and a very enjoyable event was to host the 5 junior school children for a mock council meeting. We did 2 sessions of 28 children each, and they had lots of questions for Councillor Casey and Councillor Walker, and they conducted themselves admirably, didn't they?
So did the children.
Children, one particular chairman that we had he was spot on. He kept asking questions like,
I was still here.
where is the money going to come from? And, I don't want approximate figures, I want accurate figures. And could see him as a future politician. I don't know whether you want to come in on that, Councillor Casey and Councillor Walker,
Well, there's one thing that's been on the agenda for tonight, what's spoken about. Dog park. Parking dogs. Outside shops. I have to smile about that when that was brought up tonight. And they were very, very keen on that. They really were. And they were also, I'm not joking, it was absolutely fantastic to see the kids sat down where you sit. It was all set up for it. Yeah? And there was absolutely spot on. They were asking the questions, and there was one-to-one, not all in, right? I only have to say to one of the chairpersons, at a time. And that was it, one at a time.
They'd obviously done some work at
Yeah.
school and been split up into groups and worked up some proposals to bring to the council. Some of them were, which is the closest to Councillor Anthony's heart, if she's listening. Councillor Anthony? This car park, a need for another car park for the residents of Fryland. Another one was a zip line in Glen Gardens. They've even costed it. The reason why they wanted a zip line in Glen Gardens is because Glen Gardens is boring. A memorial fountain was suggested. They haven't actually got any location for that, and we have got a fountain, of course, but in the memorial garden, so I think that's a non-starter myself. But it proves that we're thinking that the dog park, which was the funniest thing of the night, really, I thought, and first aid kit in, I think the men's defibrillator, first aid kits as well, in telephone boxes in the town centre and in public places like that. So an in-depth discussion about the whys and wherefores of that. And more things to do in Glen Gardens as well, including, I think we've mentioned it at property, more picnic tables and things like that to encourage families. And a disabled play area, which is disabled friendly, because you can get equipment now where you can just wheel a wheelchair in it, it's a swing, it's a roundabout, it's this, so that's something we might possibly pursue through Scarborough Borough Council at some point in the future. And then boat trips around the bridge. What a great idea. So it was a full and very interesting meeting, and they did a grand job.
They did. They really did. Okay.
Right, so you've got the White Rose update, quite a lot of information in there, and I've also circulated the YMCA training calendar. If anybody wants to go on any courses, I don't know where there are any members that do want to go. I think there's one in Scarborough, isn't there? Prestigious Powers and on the 10th of July.
Councillor?
I won't be available then, but I would like to go on one of them at
When
some
the next
time.
lot comes through.
Yeah. Does anybody else want to go? It's restricted to new members, isn't it? Councillor Thurston? Yeah.
So do you want to wait while the next one's come to Scarborough, or do you don't want to
Did you want to go to
go a bit further afield?
It's a long way off, the rest are far way off. These are all organised and done by YLCA.
Okay. And just to update members on the community defibrillators, HM Coast Guard has been very supportive, and thanks to Councillor Hatfield being the liaison person with the Coast Guard. The electrical installation will go in next week for that, and we're going to get the defibrillator commissioned within a couple of weeks. I'm meeting the manager of the Court Funeral Care tomorrow, and I hope that they're going to sponsor having it on their wall in the street now. So,
They want us to try it out if you're in flyers.
so that's really positive. They have arrived, the defibrillators, we've got them, they're all ready to be commissioned, and we do have to be registered with the ambulance service. So, Graham Wilkinson and Ken Leasley, they're going to do all the assessments and monitor the batteries and everything. So thank you for that. So that concludes probably my last report. I had a meeting with the new clerk, Tom Clay, came over last Friday, and we had a very positive afternoon and got through quite a lot of information with him. So, and he's coming through again next Tuesday afternoon to start on the stage training. So very enthusiastic to start this So that, I've agreed with the staffing committee, that will be my last report tonight to the council, and as Tom will Clark for July meeting. So, thank you very much for that. I'll still be here at the July meeting, but Tom will take it.
I
I don't know.
I think she's expecting us to stay.
I think it's probably on that, what would members